So today I'm sharing my Microstock earnings for July, and I'm going to go agency by agency, give you the full rundown, and see if I had any surprises for July. And spoiler alert, I think I did. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with the agencies that perform the lowest for me, work my way up to highest, because hey, let's keep some suspense in the video here. So first being least, let's look at Pond5. In Pond5 in July, I earned all of $20. Now, there's a reason for this. My portfolio at Pond5 is not that large. I've always found their uploading process pretty painful, and they haven't performed that well for me for the few hundred videos that I have there. So $20, who cares? It's my lowest performing agency in July. Let's move on. Next up, we have Big Stock. Big Stock is something that's been pretty sad to watch over the years. I used to do at least a couple $100 a month 10 years ago in Big Stock, and they've really fallen off a cliff. I think Shutterstock just hasn't invested in them, doesn't do any promotion, and I think they're just kind of letting Big Stock die on the vine. So $25 in July for Big Stock for me. Next up, 123RF. Again, kind of a big sad story over the years what's happened to them. I used to do really thousands a month at 123RF 5-6 years ago, and they have just almost fallen off the edge of the planet. Don't know if it's because their site isn't indexed well by Google anymore. Just speculating here. Who knows what's going on there? But $30 a month at 123. I've pretty much stopped uploading there. I've given up on them, but hey, they still send me $30 a month or so, and I'll take it. Next up is Getty. This is another case where I just don't have much of a portfolio there. I find the upload process very painful. So I've only made $60 at Getty, but again, it's only based on a couple hundred images that haven't really paid much attention to over the years, and just true passive income there, and I almost forget that they exist. Next up, we have Canstock Photo. Not much better than Getty, and here's one where I actually do upload to, so it's surprising. All the agencies where I'm doing active uploading, I have about 20,000 images at those agencies. So to have an agency that has 20,000 images in my portfolio there, only doing about $75 a month is pretty sad. I only upload because it's very easy to do, it's quick and painless, and I keep hoping that maybe someday they'll come back, but it just hasn't happened yet, and they continue to slide. A few years ago, they were doing at least a couple $100 a month for me, but those days are gone. $75 in July. Dreamstime, another case where I would do 1,000 or 2,000 a month years ago, and they are also just stagnating, $100 a month. It's another case where uploading is just not very fun to have to go through all the extra hoops they make you do, categorizing your images and just adding busy work to the process without much payoff. So $100 a month at Dreamstime is par for the course for me. No surprises there. So now we're getting up into slightly more meaningful numbers. $140 in July for Canva for me. I haven't been uploading there in a while either, so I've got maybe 500, 600 images in my portfolio. Canva isn't really a great match for the type of work that I'm doing day by day, so I've just let my portfolio sit and earn some true passive income for me year by year, and $140 a month. It's about par for where they were a year ago at this point. Now we're getting into slightly better numbers here, though still in the small or mid-tier agencies. Deposit Photos I consider kind of the best of the mid-range, and they earned me $250 in July. That's slightly off from where they were about a year ago, so not a huge surprise there. I regularly do upload at Deposit, so they do have my full portfolio of about 20,000 images. $250 a month, not terrible, but not great. It's definitely not one of my big earners. And speaking of my big earners, that's where we are in the countdown here. My top three make up really the vast majority of my earnings. And number three of this group of big three used to be the number one agency for years and years for myself and for a lot of people in Microstock, Shutterstock. They've fallen quite a bit. I'm probably doing half of what I did a couple years ago. I typically reach level 5 by the end of the year, and it's just a big insult January 1st when they knock me back down. So, but they're continuing to earn me at least $1,000 a month. And yeah, $1,050 for July, nothing to sneeze at. Now we're at my number 2 agency, and that's Storyblocks. They're $1,510 this month, and this is where I'd say is my biggest surprise this year. Not such a big surprise from last month, since it's kind of been the story for the last few months. They sent out a letter to their contributors a few months back, basically saying they were reconfiguring how they calculate payoffs, and some people won through this new scenario, and some people lost. I was a big I guess you call me a big loser on this, where I took a significant hit $1,510 in July. It's big enough to be my number 2 earner, but they were by far my number 1 earner just a few months ago. So that's really depressing. And my number 1 earner, you've probably figured it out by now, Adobe Stock. By far, they're my number 1. They're $1,950. They continue to grow. I'd say of all the agencies on this list, they're the only one I can pretty much count on for having regular growth for my portfolio for both images and for videos. They've been a solid performer. I think it says a lot about their ability to package the stock offering with the rest of their Creative Cloud software, and I think that gives them a big leg up on the competition. They seem to really be the only agency that's investing in the future and thinking about long-term growth. Adobe's approach on AI is somewhat controversial. There's a lot of Microstock artists out there who say that they're going the wrong way on it. I'm taking kind of a wait-and-see approach. I'm thinking glass half full, and I'm creating my own AI-generated images using Midjourney, uploading them and watching to see how they perform, to see if I want to continue down this road. For now, I think it's a good strategy to keep AI as a part of your portfolio mix. That's what I'm certainly doing with mine. I think it's a good idea to have a diverse type of images and videos in your portfolio to make sure you're capturing just about any customer need out there. So I'll continue with AI and see if it's a part of my continued growth at Adobe Stock. So there you have it. There's a full look at my July earnings for 2023. July really is one of the worst months of the year, so I expect that this is going to be down about 20% from my average for other months throughout the year. I've always found that July, August, and December tend to be the worst months of the year. They end up around 20% lower than the other better performing months. I think most contributors feel something similar. So I'm expecting August to be at a similar level for me, and then things will pick up starting in September and October, and hopefully finish off the year a little stronger. So that's how July turned out for me. How was July for you? Please share in the comments below. Also, be sure to sign up for my newsletter where I'll be sharing some exclusive news and tips, and also my agency report card where I grade each of the major Microstock agencies to tell you where I think you need to be uploading right now. Be sure to subscribe, check out my other videos featured here, and I'll see you soon.